Hi, everybody. Welcome to Queers and Soaps. I'm Tommy, and tonight I'm joined by Eric.
Special guest star Joan.
And tonight we are continuing our Gone Too Soon coverage of the canceled Aaron Spelling primetime soap opera from 1997. Gosh, that's a long way to say it. Pacific
It's
Palisades.
really getting good. It's really getting good.
Yeah, it's really getting good. So I'll roll the credits and we'll get right into it. Um, since you're like boiling over, I guess we should just talk about the big thing in this episode. Joan Collins in her appearance.
And they wasted no time putting her ass in the credits. She's
I
right in
didn't
there.
remember her coming this soon. I felt like she didn't come to like episode 7.
Well, like I said, I never seen this before, and I assumed it was later because I heard or read or something that because of low ratings, they got her to try to bring up ratings. But I'm like, how is that possible when there was only 3 episodes? Like,
Right.
I feel like I don't know. Maybe they didn't cast her. I can't imagine. I don't know. I think that's wrong because I'm like, how can you? I think that she was probably scheduled to just appear
Yeah.
because there's no way you could just be like, oh, it's been 2 episodes and we're not getting good ratings. Get Joan Collins and we'll get her in 4. Like I can't imagine them being like that.
Unless the pilot just didn't have good ratings and they just started making phone calls at that point.
True, that could have been maybe.
So yeah, so it is Laura's birthday.
All right,
Um,
let me just say this real quick.
uh,
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this Laura. I'm like she's flat out hoe. She's hoe in every sense of the word. And there's even things in these episodes where she's hoed many times in the past. So I'm like, but I kind of like her, but I don't know how I feel. Like I just don't know how. Like I don't mind her. I don't know
well,
how to feel about her.
so in the last episode, she ended up sleeping with a client who was trying to sell his house.
Right?
Um, in his hot tub, which is where she was trying to seduce Robert into investing in buying her boss's real estate agency, although because she doesn't want to lose it to a competitor. Um, so he agreed to do that, but then he reneged, and apparently he's married and has kids.
Of
Um,
course.
and she had a line where she says, "Why don't wives like me?" And I laughed because I heard you saying, "Because you're a hoe."
Yeah, she says, "What is it about me
This is
that
about
wives don't
me.
like?"
You know, I heard you saying, "You're a hoe."
And I did. And she was serious. Like she said it like serious. Like she's like, what is it about wives that don't like me? Like what? Like why? What? Like I honestly, in her head, I'm starting to. I feel like maybe that's why I get her because I'm like, she's just a proud hoe. Like I think she's just a proud hoe, and she don't care about these guys. Like you know
None
what I
of
mean?
them
Like she
are
don't
attractive,
care.
by the way, that we've
What's
seen.
that?
None of them are
Yeah, I don't.
attractive that we've seen.
Right, right. And I don't think she cares about them at all. Like, which is why she's sleeping with Corey, because in her head, I feel like she's like, I'm just fucking him. Like, he's your guy, but I'm fucking him. That's fine. It's no big deal. Like, that's how I feel like she is. Like, she really believes that it's okay. That's,
Also,
and I think that's
I don't know if it was a dropped plot, but in episode 2 and 3, she had her sights set on Nick. She was gonna get Nick. She didn't care that he was married. He was a good man. She was doing it for fun. And these 2
right.
episodes that we just watched that we're talking about tonight, that plot was not mentioned at all. She didn't even mention
It
Nick.
was.
It
It
was?
was.
It
It
was?
was. Yeah. So we'll get to it. The party.
Okay.
Um, at the party, she talks to Nick, and then oh yeah, so yeah, she's gonna have a where the Beth has thrown her a surprise birthday party,
Mhm.
and
And she gets a phone call, but we don't know it's her mother. She just says, "Oh, I'll pick you up." She's gonna be so surprised. We don't know that it's her mother.
Well, we do because the audience does because you see special guest star Joan Collins in the beginning. You're like,
On the
it's Joan
credit. She got the
Collins.
Heather Locklear treatment.
Yeah, right.
um,
Um, so yeah, the party was really funny though because I felt like she was just coming home from a hard day and they scared the shit out of her. It was great. I was like, she did a good job. But maybe that's maybe I like the actress. Like I think she's doing a good job being a hoe. Like I think she's great. Like she's really good.
um, Robert lets Kate know that he knows that she's pregnant. Um, and he kind of leads her to believe that he wants to try and make it work between them, and then it's not just because of the baby. And when I saw her like softening towards him, I was like, "No, don't be dumb, girl. Don't do it. Don't do it. He's lying."
I know, but she wasn't right. She pushed him away that time. I think.
She did, but she still took him back.
Well, it wasn't until Jessica talked to her at the party. I feel like then she was like, "All right, so let's get to this party because a bunch of so yeah, they go to the party. Laura's surprised. Christina's there, and she's like, "Who let this bitch in?" Whatever. And you're like, "Okay, so she hates her mother." And this has to be the worst casting for a mother-daughter that I've ever seen because they look absolutely nothing alike. I did like that she said, "When did you dye your hair?" So I'm like, okay, so maybe she had dark hair, so maybe she could look a
Remember when I
smidge
said I
like
couldn't
her.
remember whose mom she played, and I said I think it's Laura, which makes me
Yeah,
mad,
you were right.
because
Why?
she's British, but Laura had a line where she said, "What's with the accent? We're from Jersey."
I like that too. I like that too. And then I'm like, are they from Jersey? Because she was British the whole time. Like she just like maybe she
She's not
moved to
giving
London.
it up.
Yeah, I don't know what it was, but I guess she's such a scam artist. She scams everybody, it seems. Christina, that is. Laura seems for a hoe, Laura seems legit. Like she's like, I want my business to, and but she'll do bang whoever she's got to bang to get what she. So I don't know. I don't know how to take her.
I kind of feel like Christina's a terrible person. She's like the worst mom ever.
She is for sure.
And I feel like they had to make her that way so that we felt bad for Laura and kind of understand why she acts the way she does.
Right.
So they kind of had to make her mom worse than her.
Oh yeah, that's true. That makes sense. Maybe that's why I'm so. But I think it might be the actress too, though. Like, because I think she really, I don't know, she brings it. And they have good chemistry for.
She
They do
does,
have
because
good
I actually
chemistry.
felt like I did like her in these 2 episodes too. Like, she definitely maybe she's just, like, getting into the groove of who the character is.
So yeah, so at the party, she goes to talk to Nick because she's still kind of. I feel like she's still pushing that she wants to bang him at some point. And Christina walks over and she's like, "Oh, who's this?" And then like kind of starts talking to him and like walks away with him or something.
Yeah,
So
she's
she
like,
like,
"Show me around," and he's like, "I'm new here too." She's like, "Oh, then we can meet everyone together."
yeah, yeah, yeah. So Christina's like a cock block, which is kind of fun. I'm kind of excited to see. I know. I think Joan hangs for another episode or two, and then she comes back for the later ones or something. But
Apparently oh, so then they had, like, I guess this was supposed to be, like, a nod to Dynasty. They have, like, a little
uh,
bit of a war, and they end up in the pool, and I was just like I kinda rolled my eyes at that.
well, I did too. I thought the same thing, but I'm like, you know what though? They didn't continue fighting in the pool.
They
So
didn't.
if they did, I probably would have been like, all right, that's ridiculous. But they just went in the pool, and then it was kind of like Beth brought the cake out and was like, okay,
She's like,
and that
"Maybe I
pretty much
need
ended the party.
a
But at that party, Jessica did go to Kate. Kate, where they were in the same room, and she's like, "Oh, uh,
I quit the
can you
firm."
yeah, Kate tries to leave and she's like, "Don't leave. Like, I want to just say something." And she says, "You really should love Robert. There's absolutely nothing between us, even though we all know that there is."
Yeah. Doesn't she
But
even say, like, "He chose you," or whatever?
she might say something like that.
Something
She's
along
like,
those
"There's just
lines.
absolutely yeah, there's nothing between us. Whatever. He's yours. Just like take him back. Whatever." So that's when it kind of convinces Kate to maybe give him another chance, which was stupid, but whatever.
Yeah, I was like, "Ugh, don't do
I
it."
won't know. I won't know. Mm-mm.
Meanwhile, Joanna's sister Rachel, she's not like in the sky that Rachel's seeing. Um,
Yeah, he's really getting to her, giving her nightmares and shit.
yeah, which I think is in the next episode, so we'll hold off on that. Um,
Yeah. I thought she was like kind of psychic at first. I'm like, shit, this girl's gonna get raped. And they keep like showing Michael and her like making out hot and heavy
yeah.
and all that. And I'm like, oh man,
Um,
what's gonna happen?
Rachel tries to invite him over for dinner, but they're going to the party, so then Rachel has to cancel on him last minute. But he ends up like showing up and hanging out with her at the house while they're at the party. Um, he smokes a lot of weed because Rachel's always like they're gonna smell it on
Every
me and
time.
they're gonna know.
Every time. He was on the beach smoking weed. Clearly he's just a pothead. Um, which is fine.
Mhm.
Whatever. But back then it was very frowned upon.
I know, and now it's
Um,
practically legal almost everywhere.
now we're all doing it. Cut the joint. But
um, so Christina wants Laura's help. Apparently, she's also a hoe, but she marries the men instead of just sleeping with
yes,
them.
she's a smart hoe.
And her last husband passed, and his children, his adult children, are contesting the will that she get anything.
Wait, isn't that the next episode? Or is that like mentioned in this one?
It's mentioned in this one because
All right.
um,
I couldn't
Christina
remember. I started
wants
rewatching.
Christina wants Laura's help with by saying that
Being
she
a
saw him
witness.
change the will and that
Right.
she has every right to whatever he left her. Um,
Um,
she
did you notice somebody in this? I must point out Dark
yeah, with
Shadows. You did?
who?
The investor. There's this guy that wants to invest with Laura.
Uh-huh.
That is Willie
That was Willie.
from New Dark Shadows. Yeah.
Was it?
I saw his name. I saw his name. Yeah, Jim Fife. I saw his name in I always look at the names in the credits. So
Uh-huh.
then I look out for if I know them, and I'm like, I wonder who he's playing. So I know he was in it, and he was the investor. So yeah, he wants to invest. So Laura gets the company, right? And that's when Christina is a
Huh.
dick. I thought that was really funny.
Yeah, she basically sabotages her getting an investor.
So yeah, Laura and him are dancing.
Mhm.
Then Laura goes somewhere. Oh, she goes to call the got her. What's his name? The realtor dude.
To say that she has an or a partner or the money or an investor or whatever.
Right. And
And when she comes
Christina
back,
dances.
Christina's now with him, and she's just like, "Oh, it's so nice of you to, like, offer to help out my daughter on one of her whims, her failed whims."
One of her scams, and she goes on about like the scams that she's pulled and stuff, and I'm like, oh man, they wasted no time making her a monster bitch.
Um, and at some point, Christina was sleeping with Matt because he
Yes.
was just, like, there.
So yeah, Matt was at the party, and I guess they talked or whatever. So she has him
And
over, and
also, I, like this is the least interesting part of the show, like, I just almost feel like I don't even care, like, what happens with it. But Nick is still on the, like, investigation trying to, like he doesn't trust Matt, he think Matt had something to do with, like, the foundation of the mall being shoddy, and that's why it, like, fell apart, and that he had something to do with, I can't even remember Walter, was that his name?
right.
His death, the guy that exploded in the pilot. Um, it's for me, it's the least interesting part of the show.
Well, I don't want to know because we already know, and I do like it because that's what I wanted. I want it to like unfold, but my least important part is Corey and Beth. I'm like, gambling.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm not impressed with that storyline, and even the Rachel and Michael stuff. I'm not. I wasn't really invested in, but for what comes up, I'm like, okay, I get it. I'm cool. I get it. So I get, what's going on. I like it.
um,
But
I
Corey
guess
and Beth, I'm like, eh.
I guess we could talk about the second episode.
Yeah,
Um,
let's see. Let me see if we covered everything. Hold on. Oh yeah, I have Michael Smokes herb. I have a lot of stuff. I just want to make sure we said everything. Oh yeah, I put Laura gets Willie to invest.
really.
His name was Harvey Snow in this one. Um,
So, building off of the
oh,
whole what?
Christina is staying with Beth, remember? In the guest house. So Laura
Oh,
doesn't
yeah.
know that. So yeah, she's staying with Beth in the guest house. Uh, oh, Robert and Kate, they ended up talking on the beach and they kissed. Blah. Um, uh, think we got everything. Yeah, obviously Willie leaves Laura in the dust, so he's not gonna invest. So now she has no money. She's supposed to invest the next morning, and now she can't.
Right.
Um, and then Joanna keeps having those nightmares. And
Did the
oh yeah,
nightmares
and then
did the nightmares start in episode 4?
yeah, and
Okay. Okay.
she continues.
So
I thought she
that first nightmare, I didn't know was a nightmare, and I was like, "Oh, this took a dark turn, like, he's gonna, like, rape Rachel in her bedroom."
yeah, I thought so too. I thought that too.
And I'm like, "Maybe, Joanna will hear her scream and, like, break it up before anything happens," but then it
Right.
was a nightmare. And I don't know if the nightmare triggered my memory or if it was just obvious and I put the pieces together really quick in my head, but it made me remember what the outcome was, but I didn't know it was gonna
Uh,
come out in the same episode.
I didn't, but once she started talking about it, I was like, okay, I know where it's going. But and then also Christina basically pushed that investor off to kind of force Laura into helping her
Mm,
with the will situation
right.
so she can get the money. And then that's all I got for that episode.
Um, that wasn't the episode that ended with Mummy's home, is it? Or was that the last one?
Uh no, that was that one. That was that one.
It was that one, Mummy's home?
Mummy's home. Yeah. That was that part I think too. When yeah, because I think she's sitting on her her porch,
Yeah,
Christina,
which I
and
was
they
just seeing Joan Collins sit on a porch like a desperate housewife, I'm like, it just didn't look right, like, she should be in, like, a penthouse, not, like, on a front porch.
well, she's trash from Jersey, so I guess that's what
It
she
just yeah, but I was just like, this doesn't go together, Joan Collins on a porch swing, like, that doesn't go together."
and that's what kind of why I mean she still dresses fabulous for being piss poor as for
Still had her
whatever,
Louis
but
Vuitton luggage, I saw it, I clocked the LV.
right. But yeah, so when she goes into the house, she's like, "Mommy's home." When she turns around and because she needs like a entrance or an exit like that.
Yeah.
It's Joan. It's what you do.
So, Christina basically has her memorize the whole story of, like, how she knew that he changed the will, that she came to visit, that they had lunch, that they went to I don't remember the name of the store that she said, that they went to Buckingham
Yeah, I forget.
Palace.
Yeah, like all this whole story, and she could kept going over it with her wherever they were, even in the office.
Because they're gonna meet with a judge in London, who's American, by the way, um, and is played by the actor that played Rex on Desperate Housewives.
Stephen Culp, right? That's his
I don't
name,
know
I think, the actor.
that name.
Yeah, because I saw Stephen Culp and I recognized him. Yeah, is he's Bree's husband, right?
Yeah, Rex.
Yeah, yeah. I recognize him, but I guess it was pretty well before, probably 10 years before Housewives, so I wasn't positive. I knew the name, but I wasn't positive who it was.
Also, the guy that was playing her deceased husband's son,
Yeah,
is he Valentine from General Hospital?
he's Valentine. Yes, he is. I made note. Well, I saw his name in the like I said, I looked for the name, and then I'm like, oh, I wonder who's playing. But he wasn't didn't
I
have like a
usually
big
pay
part.
attention to that stuff too because I like to see, like, if there's any, like, gems in there, people that I've seen on other things, but I was
Well, you
watching it
like
on
to
my
see
phone, so I couldn't see the credits too well.
you like to see if there's anybody from 90210 and
Yeah, I like
and
to see if there's
scrolling.
any shared actors.
Hmm. And
Um,
they're all recycled.
um, so when they go to see the judge in London, Laura realizes that she slept with him
See?
from that trip, and he knows that she did not stay in London.
So the whole story wouldn't make sense to him. So
Well, first she was like, "Oh," she was like, "He won't remember you. You just met him." She's like, "I slept with him in the bathroom on the plane." She she
you
just had
fucked
to
in
make
the
it
bathroom.
hoish. She just had to make it hoish.
She's in the Mile High Club, of course. I mean, are we shocked? Are we really surprised? Not at all. We're, we're like, oh, Laura, that's just you, girl.
So when he comes
Whatever.
out to greet them, he sees Laura and he's like, "You look familiar." And then I keep wanting to say just Joan. Christina, like, pretends to faint to cause a scene.
That was really, it was really funny and very fake too. It was funny. I liked it.
Um, but when she comes to, they come up with a plan, and Laura basically is like, "I didn't know you were married and you had kids," and she's like, I'm sure your wife wouldn't wanna know what happened between us." So that's how they kinda blackmail him into basically backing up their story no matter what.
Right, right.
Um, and the kids think that this is awful and that
But
they're
they still lie. But they still did lie. I guess for the kids' sake. Because remember, she said I could have always flown to New York with him and then flown right back and then met your husband. And that's when, like, they came up with that too. And I guess that's the story that they tell him, and then so the kids can hear it.
yeah.
I wonder if the kids are gonna have a bigger part, like if they're gonna try anything, or if that was just it.
I'm not sure, I honestly don't remember.
Right?
Um, Corey's gambling is getting out of control. He goes to Vegas with Beth.
Let me
He
take a nap.
he keeps blowing her off to keep gambling, and he's losing. Um, I think next time we watch the show, he might be recast. I don't think he makes it too far in,
So yeah, I read that he was in 6 episodes, so he is probably in the next one, but
and then
then
he's
we're doing two. So yeah, but I did read, I looked up why he was recasted because I thought he was a pretty good actor. So I'm like, I'm just curious, and it only said scheduling conflicts, so I don't know what that means.
but I feel
I
like if
don't
you're
know.
I feel like if you're a
Huh?
contracted actor on a show, that is your schedule. Like
Right,
like you're supposed to be there.
right, right. Yeah, I don't know. That's what I guess that's what they just gave in the public. I don't know, but it's a
Hmm.
scheduling conflict because I was curious and I'm like, I like this guy, even though I'm not like impressed with the storyline. But
Unless he had a pre-booked project that took precedence over this, like had first dibs on him.
I kind of do think I know where the storyline might be going. Because so yeah, he goes in gambling, he loses, but then that guy that he's gambling with is like, "Oh, I'll see you in LA for the next game and bring your girlfriend." I'm like, is it gonna be like he wants his girlfriend type thing? Like, I
Like he's
don't
gonna
know.
play him for the girl.
Um, that's what I think. I could be totally wrong because why would you really be like, oh, bring your girlfriend? I don't know. Maybe I'm reading way too much into it.
Yeah, well, yeah. The way he was looking at her, I was getting a weird, like, pimp vibe, like,
Yeah,
he wanted to turn her into, like, a prostitute or something, or
yeah. So something might be
maybe just have a night
up
with
with
her,
that.
I don't know.
Oh, maybe like the Demi Moore movie, Indecent Proposal.
Maybe.
Where did you ever see that?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So like offer $1 million for a night with her, and that. But then I don't know. For $1 million, like they're only dating for a few months. I'd be like, if you want to sleep with them for $1 million, go for it, girl. will have money.
Do you remember her being on Titans? She was on Titans for a few
Not at
episodes.
all.
Oh, not at all.
I didn't. I didn't. I only watched Titans one run through, and that's when it was originally on, and I haven't watched it since.
Oh, you have to
I don't.
rewatch
Oh, I
that.
love it. I
Yeah.
love it. But and I totally would. I
Wait,
do need to.
did you see all 13 episodes? Because not all of them aired in the US.
No, I think I only saw up until whatever aired. I used to record it, and then that was it.
Yeah, I
I don't
think
think
only
they showed them.
7 or 8 episodes aired in the US.
Yeah, I forget,
Yeah, you should watch
but I
it.
haven't watched it. Yeah, I want to for sure.
Uh, that's
Right.
another one that I'm like, "Oh, I wish it would've continued," because it was, like, really starting to, like, take a turn for the better.
That wasn't even. I loved it from the beginning, man. I thought they like every episode. I thought had a cliffhanger, and I loved everything about it. I thought it was great.
The only thing I didn't not to continue talking about Titans, but the only thing I didn't like is that NBC basically showed all of, like, the good parts in the promo.
Oh, really?
Like, the big moments, like, they
Oh,
spoiled the episode by putting in the promo.
no, I didn't notice.
Yeah.
I guess I didn't pay attention back then. Thank God.
They're like, "So and so's dead." I'm like, we don't know that for sure yet."
Did they die? Yeah.
Um, but back to Pacific Palisades, another
But
Aaron
anyway, back to Pacific Palisades.
Um,
Right.
so we did Corey and Beth. We pretty much covered well, we only did half of Laura and Christina. So Christina is supposed to invest in buying the real estate company for Laura. And she tries to leave the country
Hmm.
and this and I'm like, she is a terrible mother. She's terrible.
And
But
Laura's smart
Laura
because,
has her
yeah,
passport and she can't.
Laura has the passport. Yeah. So that was
Um,
funny. So they go back home.
they go back home and she says she's just so tired. And she's like, "Can I just have some privacy for a nap?" And she's like, "You have 13 minutes." She's
Yeah,
like,
13
"Thanks,
minutes is
honey."
what he said.
And then she goes to check on her and she's gone. She like snuck out the window.
Mm-hmm. I'm like, damn. But Laura really should have learned, like, don't trust that bitch.
I mean, you know who she is.
I would have been like, I went outside the window and sat there.
Um,
13 minutes, that's not long.
meanwhile, Jessica has resigned from the company and Robert gives her a glowing recommendation to another company. And he drops off her last check at the place she's staying at, but she doesn't talk to him and he slides it under the door. Um, I think he calls her to tell her that he gave her a recommendation, and so she,
Yeah,
like, picks it up and she thanks him.
yeah.
Um,
Well, she avoided his call. She avoided him at the door, and then yeah, then he called again or whatever, and then she answered that time.
and I think just as he, like, finishes that call, Kate walks in and she asks who that was, and he says it was work, and I'm like, "Here you go, lying again."
Yeah,
Um, she's, like, so happy that they're trying to make it work, and these are the things she misses just at, like, at the end of the day, talking at the table, and he's, like, looking at her, and he's not really listening, and he's just, like, seeing Jessica.
yeah, no, that was so sad. I'm like, come on, man, what the fuck?
Um, so we had mentioned this, Joanna's having nightmares that this boy, Michael, is gonna, like, sexually attack, Rachel. Um,
Actually, it's called rape.
yeah, I was trying to avoid saying it. I felt like maybe the nightmares were rooted in something happened to her, but then I was like, "Oh, I think I'm having a memory," and I'm like, "I'm not gonna say anything," but then it was revealed in the episode, so I'm like, "Oh, I guess I can say something." Uh,
Yeah, I was that was good. I didn't know where it was going, and like I said, I wasn't impressed with the Michael Rachel stuff. I know you liked her on 90210, right? I was not
No, I
impressed.
actually liked her on Saved by the Bell, the new class. I didn't like her on that episode.
The new class.
Um, so her and Michael are getting hot and heavy in her room. Nobody's home. She has music blasting. Joanna comes home.
Terrible music lasting.
Right. Oh, it's not even like set the mood music. It was like hard rock.
Right?
I
Didn't
mean,
Aaron
maybe
Spelling know any
maybe
music
some people
people?
do like that for that, but and she walks in on them and she forces him to leave. Rachel freaks out. She basically tells her to get out of her room. Um, Joanna's like hyperventilating. Nick's now home, and she's explaining to him that she can't let happen to Rachel what happened to her. And she says that when she was 14, she was raped
Right.
and that she got pregnant and that she had the baby and the baby's name was Rachel. So we're like, oh shit, she's
Yeah,
Rachel's
everything
mom.
came out.
And then Nick's head moves and you see Rachel standing in the doorway having heard the whole thing.
Yeah,
I was
right.
like, what?
I I know. I loved it. I'm like, wow, talk about everything coming out, like at the same time. That's why I really like these episodes because I was like, it's bringing it, because usually you wait for that stuff. Like she would hold it from Nick, she would probably tell Kate, and then it would blow up some other way. But
Hmm.
I like how it all came out and everything's out. Nick knows, Rachel knows, everything. It's just like it's cool. I like it a lot. I
I
mean, she might have
really
thought to close the door if she wanted it private. Nobody closes doors, and so
I really don't know what else to expect going forward. I've only seen the show once and it was like
no
10
idea.
years ago.
I have no idea what to expect.
'Cause everything I was expecting has happened. Joan Collins is here. Um,
Right?
the recast should happen next time we watch it, and that's all I remember.
Yeah. So, I like the moments with Kate and Joanna, and I just thought of, did you see? I think I messaged you the picture of, didn't they have like a lunch or something? And I was like, oh look, they're like reunited or something
Oh, yeah,
from
yeah.
Pacific
Yeah,
Palisades.
yeah.
I think I used it to like promote. I'm like, ooh, this is a good promotion point. Look at them reunited, Pacific Palisades. Um, but
Yeah, the mall
yeah,
that
like
we were at, I don't know if that's like it must be a real mall because that's been used on definitely 90210, maybe Melrose Place when they were coming down the escalator.
I wonder what mall it is.
Yeah. I was like, "Are they in Beverly Hills?"
Hmm. I never was at was that a mall? I'm trying to think if I was at a mall there in California before. I don't think I was. And if I was, it was in 2003, and I really don't remember. It could have been because my
Um,
friend brought me like everywhere in Beverly Hills.
really?
Yeah. Oh, and then we didn't say that what Christina did
What
when
she
she
oh,
escaped out the window.
she ended up investing, well, pretty much buying it. She bought the
Yeah, she bought the
company.
company. She bought the
Yeah.
agency. So yeah, and I was surprised. Didn't see that coming because I thought she was just out of there. But yeah, she went and
Yeah.
bought the agency. I guess it was we don't know exactly how much money. I guess they never want you to know, but I guess it's millions. I don't know.
I don't trust this. I feel
Oh,
like
of course
she's
not.
gonna wanna be more involved than Laura wants her to be. Like, I think
Yeah, well, I
Laura
saw.
was looking for a silent partner, and I don't think her mother's gonna be silent.
Yeah, well, I watched the preview, and you're right. I always watch the preview for the next one when I have to
I
wait a
do
week to
too.
see something.
But
I
wasn't the
have to
preview about
know.
Rachel, like, running away and being like, "I
It
never want to
was, and
see
then
you
they.
guys again," and then, like, her body has to be identified?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then there was one with Christina and Laura, and she's like, I thought you bought the company is mine, and she's like, oh, something like, no, it isn't, or something like, I forget what it was, but
Hmm.
I'm like, okay, this is fun. I like it. I like it a
But,
lot.
yeah, these were great episodes. They were exciting.
Yeah. I like how I put Michael and Rachel get hot and heavy to shitty music. So
I can't believe
stupid.
that Willie was in it. Now I have to go back and see, like, the character, see if I could.
Yeah. I was so excited. I'm like, dude, how weird. It's kind of like a connection.
And you know what? I
Like,
thought he looked familiar, and obviously that's why.
can we connect the short-lived soaps? Like, so now Dark Shadows is connected to Pacific Palisades. We got to watch something short-lived with someone connected to Pacific Palisades, like a 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon.
Well, I said the Beth was in Titans.
Oh, oh, well, you did Titans, I thought, right?
Yeah, we did Titans. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
and all of these shows have somebody that was on 90210 at some point.
Oh, and the Love Boat. They were on the Love Boat. A lot of these people.
And now
But yeah,
Dynasty
I'm
just adds
excited.
like another layer with Joan.
Hmm. But I did read. I think Joan leaves either after. I think after episode 7, and then she comes back for the last three or something. So
Yeah,
she
I
leaves for a
remember
few
that.
episodes.
Yeah.
But it's a good show. I like it.
So maybe she genuinely was a guest star, and that's why she came on so soon. And then
Right.
ratings got low, and they were like, "Oh no, we need to bring her back full time," and that's why she came back.
That could be. That would make more sense.
Yeah.
Maybe she was supposed to be signed for 4 episodes, and then they're like, get her back.
Hmm.
Ratings dropped. I tried to look up the ratings for it just to know, but I couldn't find anything. I was just curious to see what their ratings were.
I had never even heard of the show, honestly. I
No?
I so I watched it for the first time 10 years ago. That was probably when I
Right.
discovered it, and I went looking for it because I never
How'd,
heard of it.
how'd you find out about it?
Probably just like a 6 degree of soap actor thing. I was probably just clicking on filmographies, and I was like, "What is this?" And then I was like, "Michelle Stafford was in this, and Vanola Hughes." And I'm like, "What
Vanilla
is
Hughes.
this?"
What is this shit? It's another short-lived soap. Hmm.
But all right, do you have anything else to add before we wrap it up? No?
No, I'm excited to see where everything's going.
Me too. All right, as always, you can find us on all the socials at Queers and Soaps. And until next time, have a great night, guys. Bye.
Bye.